Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of our podcast, 19 to the dozen. Crypto-anarchism is the topic today, and the following is a recorded conversation I had with SODOMAK, also known as Milan Půlkrábek. You can find Milan at Paralelni Polis, which is Prague's Institute of Crypto-Anarchy. And that's why, before going on with the conversation, I just want to make this crypto-anarchy thing clear. It was first mentioned in 1988 in the Crypto-Anarchist Manifesto, and this was written by Timothy C. May. He was an advocate of libertarianism and internet privacy. So crypto-anarchism is a political ideology focusing on protection of privacy, political freedom, and economical freedom. As I said, I'm just gonna go on and read the Crypto-Anarchist Manifesto. Bear in mind, it will blow your mind because it was written in the 1988. My sources say 1992, I think SODOMAK will say during the interview. I didn't want to argue with him. So here we go. It will blow your mind because it was written way before internet is what we understand today to be. And here it goes. A specter is haunting the modern world, the specter of crypto-anarchy. Computer technology is on the verge of providing the ability for individuals and groups to communicate and interact with each other in a totally anonymous manner. Two persons may exchange messages, conduct businesses, negotiate electronic contracts without ever knowing the true name or legal identity of the other. Interactions over networks will be untraceable via extensive rerouting and encrypted packets and tamper-proof boxes, which implement cryptographic protocols with nearly perfect assurance against any tampering. Reputations will be of central importance, far more important in dealings than even the credit ratings of today. These developments will alter completely the nature of government regulation, the ability to tax and control economic interactions, the ability to keep information secret, and will even alter the nature of trust and reputation. The technology for this revolution, and it surely will be both a social and economic revolution, has existed in theory for the past decade. The methods are based upon public key encryption. The methods are based upon public key encryption, zero-knowledge interactive proof systems, and various software protocols for interaction, authentication, and verification. The focus has until now been on academic conferences in Europe and the US, but those were closely monitored by National Security Agency. But only recently have computer networks and personal computers attained sufficient speed to make these ideas practically realizable. And the next 10 years will bring enough additional speed to make the ideas economically feasible and essentially unstoppable. High-speed networks, ISDN, tamper-proof boxes, smart cards, satellites, Ku-band transmitters, multi-MIPS personal computers, and encryption chips, which are now under development, will be some of the enabling technologies of this. The state will, of course, try to slow down or stop the spread of this technology, citing national security concerns, use of the technology by drug dealers and tax evaders, and fears of societal disintegration. Many of these concerns will be valid. Crypto-anarchy will allow national secrets to be traded freely and will allow illicit and stolen materials to be traded. An anonymous computerized market will even make possible abhorrent markets for assassination and extortion. Various criminals and foreign elements will be active users of CryptoNet. But this will not stop the spread of crypto-anarchy. Just as the technology of printing altered and reduced the power of medieval guilds and the social power structure, so too will cryptographic methods fundamentally alter the nature of corporations and government interference in economical transactions. Combined with emerging information markets, crypto-anarchy will create a liquid market for any and all material which can be put into words and pictures. And just as seemingly minor invention like barbed wire made possible the fencing of vast ranches and farms, thus altering forever the concept of land and property rights in the frontier West, so too will the seemingly minor discovery of an arcane branch of mathematics come to be the wire clippers which dismantle the barbed wire around intellectual property. Arise! You have nothing to lose but your barbed wire fences. This was Timothy C. May's Crypto-Anarchist Manifesto, 1988. I will put a link in the description. The following is a conversation I had with my friend SODOMAK, also known as Milan Půlkrábek. You can find Milan in Prague's Paralelni Polis, which is Prague's Institute of Crypto-Anarchy. Thus, this beginning. Here we go. So, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. SODOMAK. Does this count as me hacking a bottle opener?
Maybe at some countries, but here in Prague, it's quite common way how to open beer. So I wouldn't call it hacking if you don't want to be, don't want to look lame. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Let me tell you the first thing I hacked, and it was out of need to make a phone call. My mom was when I was young. You know, we still have those rotary phones in Romania, and it was before '89. So actually, you were lucky if you had the phone line.
It was same here.
Yeah. So my mom, what used to do when I was punished, was to put a small lock so you wouldn't be able to dial. So I hacked that thing twice. First of all, with the needle opening the lock, which is kind of easy. But the second thing I did, and that actually kind of opened the world for me in a way, were you aware that you were able to dial numbers by pressing the...
Yeah, but you couldn't press it all the way down, and just for the short time, and how many times you touched it?
Exactly.
We had the phone.
We were lucky that, you know, at that time it was just 5 numbers. And in the phone number, so 5 digits, and actually my friend was on 11212. So
easy,
you know.
Yeah, you can call this hack.
This was I'm a hacker.
Definitely.
I'm today in Paralelni Polis with SODOMAK. This is an Institute of Crypto-Anarchy, and I guess I'll let you explain. I mean, we just read the Crypto-Anarchy Manifesto. It was written in 1992.
Yep.
It
was published in 1992.
Okay.
I'm not sure when Timothy C. May actually wrote it. And we sadly cannot ask him.
But as he passed away. But isn't it amazing how in that page, he's just describing the internet today. And not only the internet, but the society.
Yeah. Yeah, society and governments and all the shit. He was kind of visionary, and all the whole group of the cypherpunks and cryptoanarchists those days. They were years ahead the rest people, because they actually seen what others didn't. That there were some tensions, some I don't know how to say, like that governments and I always call it forced authorities. They try to like spy on people, suppress people, and so on. So in the early 90s, the internet as we know it today, it was in just the very beginnings. Internet itself was there even before, but it was like just a few connected computers with people had very limited access to it. But even those days,
it's true that it started as the U.S. military ARPANET project kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They did
basically fast communication between military bases, and then they kind
fast and in a way that there is no single point of failure. They made it in a clever way because they knew that if their enemies, probably Soviet Union those times, will destroy some one server building or something like that, that they will lose the connection. So they made it in a decentralized way. So if the enemy will destroy one node, the communication will still be going on via other nodes. So it was like clever idea.
which is still the basis of blockchain today, no? The basis of blockchain technology.
Yeah, it's the same.
It is more or less the principle of Tor as a browser, right? Because you're going through millions of servers until nobody checks that rabbit hole or something.
Actually, the power of Tor network is in that triple encryption when each node will encrypt the communication with
between
another
them.
layer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's to decentralize things is way how to make things anti-fragile. So because you cannot, as I said, you cannot just destroy one point and then to make the whole thing, in this case the whole network inaccessible. But you have to destroy almost every points, because there is always some if you don't destroy all the points, all the nodes, then there is always a way how to connect the points. So it's like spider's net. If you just cut one
thread,
one thread, the spider is always still able to get to another side of the net. So this is in 2014 the guys from a Czech art group Stohoven, which is famous Czech art group, decided to open hackerspace because 1 or 2 years ago the guys met with two hackers from Slovakia, and so they decided to open hackerspace. But in the end, hackerspace usually is some room in the basement, but that was not was the case with Paralelni Polis, or was the so make it big. So they rented the whole building in Holešovice at Prague, which is like wider center of Prague.
Delnická 43.
Yep. So to actually create the whole organization, not just the hackerspace, and it was I would say mashup of ideas of Timothy C. May about cryptoanarchy and Václav Benda. Václav Benda is or was a communist dissident.
Okay.
Who actually in the 70s, he was one of the co-authors of CHARTA77.
Oh, okay.
And he also wrote the essay called Paralelni Polis. And he described there how people in dissent were like acting, communicating outside the official society. That there are some internal relationships, so totally different and independent on the outside world, and it's also in the name of it, because paralelni means parallel, and polis is from Greek state or society.
Polis, yeah.
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 So it's practically a parallel society. So so this organization called Paralelni Polis is, as I mentioned, a mashup with of the ideas of Timothy C. May, because in the 70s the Czech, or not just Czech, but all the dissidents in former communist bloc in Eastern Europe, they had no technologies which do we have now. So their communication was limited to some hidden messages, some coding. But nowadays we can use the strong encryption, which is for free, and we can communicate with people all around the world without anybody able to spy on it. Yeah, so that was that mashup.
Let me interrupt you now, because that's what I'm good at. Okay. I have. You mentioned the hacking group.
It's not a hacking group. It's an art group.
Stohoven, right?
Yeah.
And I think, as I was reading about Paralelni Polis today, I think one stopping of TV show or something like that was attributed to them somehow. And then spying on some politicians' mobile phones. So if you have these stories, I would like to hear them, because it's cool.
I'm not a member of the Stohoven group. Yeah,
but you surely know more than I do.
Of course,
I
guess I know all of them.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I'm always late, so I joined Paralelni Polis 2 months after opening. So
yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm late at work.
No.
Hello, people.
Actually, art group Stohoven started the journey with the project that there was from the well-known Czech artist Jiří David. They made the pink neon heart on the Prague Castle.
Okay.
It was and guys from Stohoven just covered the half of the heart and put the one light below it. So it was in the end it was like a question mark.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it was some reaction on some things.
Send me these pictures, because we can have like an off second and show if you have the pictures while we edit.
Then they had some other projects. I can mention that they hacked the broadcasting of the Czech TV.
Okay. So what is this story now? This story, were they just hacking like a Bobby show, or
no? It
just
was
the whole broadcast.
It was even before Bobby's era.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, a long time ago.
Yeah.
There is that kind of program in the mornings that there are just cameras overseeing the Czech mountains.
Okay.
It's kind of slow TV.
Okay.
You're just watching the camera swinging from one side to the other side. Nothing is happening there. Probably nobody's watching it. And
the podcast.
And the guys went to the mountains and were observing all the cameras there, and they found one that was not well protected and was actually, as far as I can remember correctly, it was still analog camera.
Okay.
So what they did was they recorded what the camera was actually filming. And then in the editor, they put the atomic bomb explosion in it. Then they simply disconnect cables from the camera, put the video recorder and they broadcast it on the national TV the explosion of atomic bomb.
I love this kind of things. I mean, they're funny and with a positive message at the same time, and I just love this kind of hacking stories.
Cool.
Did anybody call 911 at this point? Or
actually not, but of course they ended up in the court because
how did they catch them?
There were some issues with the mobile phones.
Okay.
Some of them didn't turn off their phones, and as it's in the mountains, so
there's not a lot of phones there. So, guys, if you do something like this, leave your phone at home. Jesus Christ!
Or at least remove your battery if it's possible on your phone. But to just don't bring your phone, don't bring your phone there. So there was because probably Czech TV asked some fine for them, and that it was that people can got I don't know, insane from it, and in the end the court
emotional troubles,
some breakdowns or so. But in the end, court realized that there were just 5 people actually watching it live. But it was. Of course, the kind was all over the news and stuff like that, and so this is actually the background of Paralelni Polis, or what about who are the guys from Stohoven.
And spying on politicians' mobile?
It was not actually spying, but it was like spoofing, SMS spoofing.
Okay.
Which is a kind of hack where, for example, I can send you an SMS message, but it will appear like from a totally different number. For example, from number of your boss. But I will send it with so what they did, they sent the shitload of messages to the members of parliament from another members of parliament. So one guy from some party invited some lady from other party, which were total competitors and enemies in the parliament, and he invited her for a dinner and stuff like that.
Nice, I love this. It's so creative. Seriously. Yeah. Okay, so. Was the first Paralelni Polis actually in Prague or in Bratislava?
In Prague.
In Prague.
Yeah.
Because I think there's one in Bratislava as well, right?
There was.
Both.
After I don't know, it's 2 years ago they opened at the Bratislava. Because Paralelni Polis as itself is open source.
Like
we
all
know,
the good things in life.
we know open source from the software and stuff like that, but we made a whole organization like open source, so anybody can open their own Paralelni Polis at their city.
Okay.
They do not need to ask us for permission.
Okay.
We're not going to.
Timișoara, Bucuresti, are you listening?
Actually, I spoke with some guy from Bucuresti.
And?
He wanted to open. To be honest, I spoke with a shitload of people from different cities. They told me they will open their Paralelni Polis this city, but it's actually quite difficult. You cannot do it just because you have money to buy the building, but you really need people to do that. You cannot do it alone, and you actually cannot hire people for this kind of organization because it's not business. It's kind of I don't like
right. It's hacktivism.
Yeah, kind of. And it's it's type of mindset. Yeah, it's and you cannot hire people to do that. So usually it mostly it failed. But guys at Bratislava did it. But then they had some issues with the landlord of the building, and afterwards the lockdowns came, and so they are not present anymore. There was Polis Paralela at Barcelona.
Okay.
We usually we cannot force it, but we usually tell the people to name it in their own language. Not to make it. So in Barcelona it was Catalanian Polis Paralela. Probably my pronunciation is pretty shitty, but
it's okay. It's okay.
And there is one in Vienna, which is actually working. In Barcelona, they renamed it to Polytech Institute, I guess. So they are not parallel police at all. So I don't know why, but maybe they just didn't like something.
So if somebody wants to open, will you at least offer consultancy and all?
Definitely yes.
Because I'm not really sure how we're going to edit this, but eventually we were going to show like images from the space. The space is a huge building here in Horeshovice in Prague, and it has like this connex businesses, let's say, that go with it. So for example, you have all the fiat is interdicted here, right? It's so everything you buy or pay, you buy and pay, you do that in crypto coins. And
because I'm sorry, idea behind this is when you do the competitor, as Paralelni Polis is like competitor to the state or to government. So we decided to not use the government money.
Makes sense. So if I'm not mistaken, right now you guys are accepting Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, and one more, but I don't remember which one. Ethereum. Okay. Yeah. So these are, and it's such a stressless situation because you have those cash machines. You're just basically exchanging the fiat to your own wallet. And then basically you're
nowadays it sounds easy.
So to go to my question. So if anybody will be able or willing to open this kind of space for the community already existing in their own town, will you consult on all this infrastructure? Because I've never. This is the only place where I've seen this POS systems on the.
Yeah, of course.
For example, or the fiat to crypto exchange machines, which are.
Yeah, of course. We will do some support for it because we would like to have another Paralelni Polis in the world. As I said, people don't need to ask us. They should still have some same rules like as we do have, do not cooperate with the government, do not take any subsidies from the governments, from the municipalities, and etc. But as I said, we are not gonna sue anybody. If somebody will open some space, call it Parallel Polis, and will take subsidies and take euros and so, we will just shame them publicly,
and probably
we are pretty
keep
good.
Them down.
We are pretty good at it.
DDoS and stuff like that. Coming to your way. Yeah, but I mean, why would somebody do that? Because it's such a generous idea, and it's in the end. With all the context of data retention and everything else, it's just such a generous and humanitarian idea because, Snowden, I think, said at one point that saying that you have nothing to hide because of privacy issues is like saying that you don't like freedom of speech because you have nothing to say.
Yep.
That was the moment when, I don't know if it was Snowden or the other guy, but I think it was Snowden.
It was Snowden.
Yeah. So that's when I actually started looking more and more into this, because the first time I was exposed to this was, I think, early 2000s, when there was this hashtag on Twitter, data retention is a crime. At that point, there was no Facebook and no Google. It was pre-Facebook and Google, and yet people were like just disregarding this kind of what became actually a billions and billions of dollars business idea, business model, because that's what it is. It's a business model. And all this kind of thing ended, for me at least, I mean, when I said, okay, this is unbearable, I mean, it is unbearable, to the point in which just 1 or 2 months before the pandemic started, there was a report which I sometimes post on LinkedIn, so it's in my feed if you're curious. It's an Amnesty International report that is saying that basically the policies of the big 5 or 4 on the internet are against freedom of speech. No longer do we have a problem that they try to shove down our faces, commercials and all that. It's even more than that. It reached a state where the bubble is about to burst, but nobody wants to, be the first one to take a needle there and just like burst it open. But if Amnesty International, who in the 90s was overlooking the fairness of the elections in Eastern Europe, right? We grew up with those news, right? So if they are saying that it's not okay that you stop tracking location, but Google still gets it, it's not okay that Android is like the biggest spyware, as Windows 10 is the biggest spyware out there. I mean, these people are their business model is
Not
just
my
gathering.
Android, sorry.
Well, okay, cool.
I have to Google it.
Well done. I DuckDuckGo. And,
Sure.
And I'm like weird to my friends.
Yeah. But
I Proton Mail, I DuckDuckGo.
Search engine is just actually Google started with search engine, and it was I remember internet without Google.
Yeah, I was searching on Lycos. Do you remember Lycos?
Sure. I was, we had like it was. There were actually no search engines. There was just catalogs of websites like AltaVista and stuff like that. But actually, Google came with the idea to actually crawl the whole internet and to actually that you could actually search the internet. Yeah, it was a great idea. I used the Google those times, of course, because it was like miracle. Like you can find the web page which is not registered anywhere in that catalogs. So. And so it was like great product, but then they started to do other stuff, and actually it's the search engine is just drop in the sea. You mentioned Android, there are like Google services and almost everything in the regular Android operational system is made to actually spy on users. So there are tools for web developers which Google is offering for free, like Google Analytics and stuff like that, which is good service for lazy developers. But it's actually made. Google is not that good company that is just offering something for free. They from the Google Analytics they have data for themselves. They can use it for storing cookies at your computer and stuff like that. So to just to actually start using DuckDuckGo or another search engine is a good start, but it's not enough.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
But
since
quite difficult, and it's actually interesting thing that you mentioned that that Amnesty International mentioned that it's against the freedom of speech. What are they doing?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like idea, and because Paralelni Polis basically is meant to be parallel to governments and stuff. But nowadays we are seeing the growing of those private companies who are actually influencing almost everything, and still it's you still can opt out from their services. It's difficult, but it's possible, and they don't have guns.
But neither do we.
Neither, but the governments
Governments
have guns. So it's sometimes people are telling me that there is no difference between government and Google and Apple and Facebook and so on. But there is still big. You cannot opt out from your government, but you can opt out even if it's difficult from Google, from Microsoft, and so on.
That is true. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm using Ubuntu for the last maybe 6-7 years. I can even game on Ubuntu because there's Steam. I mean, there's really okay things. DuckDuckGo. I do have a Yahoo because that's the first email I did in 1998. But then again,
my
like
first email was at USA.net.
wow.
It was, as far as I know, it was the first free mail.
Okay.
So
USA.net. That must have been, I don't know, 95, 96, something like that.
96.
Yeah.
I think.
You were dialing up through your phone line at that time,
Yep.
no?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the internet connection.
It was easy when you were connected to the analog exchange because they were not counting your phone calls on a time, but on the connection.
Okay.
So, and those times it was one Czech crown per connection. So
Okay.
you could be connected all day, and it was just
You
for
would
one
pay
crown.
1 crown.
When you were not that lucky that you were connected to the digital exchange, they counted from per minute, so it was pretty expensive to call.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
was,
those times.
slow as fuck.
Yeah, of course. Compared to today, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. But, yeah. So what would be like, if you want to give them the least amount of data that you can, what would be the, I don't know, the services you would use, so you'd still be online, you'd still be kind of social, whatever, because I guess sometimes we like it, you know, but you would like give them the least amount of data. What are you using, or how to say it?
Yeah, my combo.
What's your combo?
I'm using
stack. Your stack.
For the phone, I'm using Lineage OS, which is like the version of Android, which is not from any major producer of the phones. You cannot make it that you don't have any Google services there, so totally without Google spying on you. Still, government or telecommunication company can spy on you because they see your SIM card. So the way is to just don't put the SIM card there. Use just Wi-Fi with VPN. For the browsing and the internet, I'm using Firefox.
Really?
Yeah, I'm using Firefox since it was Netscape.
Okay. Yes, me too. I mean,
then it was
Netscape.
Mozilla Suite, and then Firefox because I don't use Chrome.
Of course.
It's Google.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to use any like forks of Chrome, like Brave and stuff like that, because it's still Chromium, based on Chromium. and I like diversity. And even if those browsers are not maintained by Google, the core of them is.
It's still Google.
So then Google can somehow influence the web standards and so on. So and Firefox is from my point of view, is still the browser which is developed with the privacy and security in the way they do it. So even Tor browser is made up on the Firefox. So there's some sign that
on my iPhone I'm using the DuckDuckGo browser. Of course, I don't VPN, but whatever. I mean, there's also DuckDuckGo browser out there. I don't know for desktops, but for mobile, for sure.
I think there is, but I'm not using. I tried it, but again, I went back to Firefox, and I'm used to it for shitload of years.
So yeah, then messaging.
Signal, definitely my first. Even at Paralelni Polis, is our default way how to communicate within the organization. Sometimes Trima.
I don't know Trima. Okay.
Trima is also by default end-to-end encrypted messenger.
Telegram?
No, I don't like Telegram.
Okay. Is it because you don't like it, or it's not secure as Signal?
It's because I know it's not secure as Signal because it's not by default end-to-end encrypted.
Okay.
And recently, there were found some issues with their encryption protocol. They invented their own encryption protocol. And one of the first laws in cryptography is do not create your own encryption protocol. You will fuck it up. Yeah. Okay. But the main issue for me is that their PR and advertising is like that it's secure, but it's not end-to-end encrypted. You can send messages end-to-end encrypted via Telegram, but you have to specifically send that hidden messages, or I'm not even sure how it's going to be. But same you can do with the Facebook Messenger. They also have also option to send the end-to-end encryption.
Really?
Yeah. So for me there is. I don't know if people who are watching this podcast are familiar with the difference between end-to-end encryption and server to client encryption.
Oh, okay. Explain it, please.
Just shortly. With the most common type of encryption, client to server, is like Telegram, Facebook Messenger, and so on. That you will write the message in your device, or phone or computer, whatever. It's going to be encrypted with the key shared with the server, with the provider. For example, with Facebook. So the message is encrypted on the way to the server, so nobody can spy on it on the way. But on the server, it's going to be decrypted, so provider can read it, and they do. Then on the other side of the server, it's the message is encrypted again, and now with the key shared with the recipient of the messages. So again, on the way to the recipient, the message is encrypted. Nobody can spy it, and on the device of the recipient, it's decrypted. So recipient can read it.
So for everyday people, this would mean that, for example, if I'm listening to a public Wi-Fi with Wireshark or any other app, right, I will not be able to read that message. But if I'm Facebook and I own the server, I'm decrypting it, reading it, and then spitting it out encrypted again. And this is basically
exactly.
Okay.
But with the end-to-end encryption, in the Signal or Threema, the message is encrypted in your device again. But now it's encrypted with the key you are sharing with the recipient. So the message going all the way encrypted, even through the server of the provider. Yeah. So they cannot read it. They cannot open your message and read it and then send you the advertisement.
And it happens. I mean, it happens. Everybody has this story that I've been talking about pizza. Then I've been looking on Facebook, and what do you know? Pizza commercial or stuff like that. You're talking about, and their AI for listening is getting better and better and more accurate and more accurate, which is freaking scary, man. I mean, it is scary. You're talking about, I don't know, Greece. And suddenly they know where you want to go, what island, where you've been, blah, blah. And they feed you, like this kind of thing. I don't know if it's wrong or right. I mean, I know it's wrong, but some people enjoy it, though.
Some people telling it. I'm totally,
it's easier for me. I don't have to think about it.
I appreciate I'm watching just advice for things I need. The issue is they usually know better what you want than you actually it. They know better what you want. So you could save money because you don't know what you want, so you don't buy it. But they will tell you you want some shit. But I think this is not the biggest issue with this. But the issue for me, as I see it, is that those companies or even governments are collecting the shitload of data about people. And we know from history that if the data will go to the wrong hands, some really bad things happened. It was Nazis they used data from census in Germany, so they knew who is Jew and who's not. So it ended up with the gas chambers and stuff like that. So collecting data, any kind of data about people, can be pretty dangerous for those people.
I agree. I agree. And
so advertisement, maybe it's annoying, but no big deal for me. But those informations, those data can be used for pretty bad things.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's funny to me that more and more we're willing to accept unlocking our devices with our face or with the eye, with the retina, that we are willing to accept even now the stupid COVID passport. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Okay, I am not an anti-vaxxer. Get the vaccines, whatever. I did. So yeah, well, now the more and more I'm reading about it.
Say, do what you want.
Yeah,
do
actually,
what you want.
You do. You guys do you. We did us. But how am I gonna control what the information is on that QR code, right? How am I ever gonna control it? It's just a matter of trust, and they've breached my trust for so many times. Since the internet exists, that I'm really basically skeptic to everything around me, and this is not an answer either.
I was at in the end of my lectures or of my workshops. I always tell people, be paranoid always.
Yeah, because I mean, who are you gonna trust? Today you can take any topic that is concerning, let's say, society, and you'll find both for and against opinions. So in the end, I think it's your critical thinking. But since you're bombarded from all sides, you're never gonna know.
I just want to say that I don't want to say that we are fucked and I hope we are not fucked yet, and it's not as bad as it could be. Like I said that I'm telling people be paranoid, but just don't get me too serious. Like use the internet, use your phones, enjoy it. Like you can use it for fun. You can use it for connecting with people you cannot see physically, but do it with that idea in mind that there can be some third person who can spy on you. So I usually say that don't say on or don't write to your phone anything with you can go to jail for it.
For it, yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't even do it because I think my phone and my computer is pretty secured, but I never write there anything which can be somehow like used against me.
I kind of sometimes do, but then again, I'm the idiot. So we were talking your stack. So it was Lineage OS on the mobile device, Mozilla as a browser, Signal for messaging, email. I guess is ProtonMail, right?
Actually, no. I'm not using. Sometimes I use ProtonMail, but I actually don't use email that much.
Okay.
So I'm using email just for sending invoices and stuff like
okay.
that. I don't. I have my own mail provider. I don't have some Gmail or some. I have Gmail, but not for daily use. I'm actually I have accounts on many services because I need for my job because I'm trying to tell people how to use particular services, so I have to know it. I have to know how to use some privacy protections or security settings there, so I have to use such services. But for my daily usage, primarily I'm using Signal, even for sending some documents. So, and if I really have to send something sensitive via email, I'm using Pgp Encryption.
What is that? I don't.
It's basically kind of end-to-end encryption for emails, but it's not that trivial as using Signal and stuff. You have to
So you
create your own keys.
Yeah, you create your own key. You encrypt it on your own personal device. Then you send it, and you
the
somehow
receiver
send the key as well.
Receiver have to. You actually encrypt it with the receiver's key.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of you have to use. It's like ProtonMail do it by default with another ProtonMail user, but usually, for example, when I worked for one security company, we were using Pgp because everybody in the company had it. It's not that, as I said, it's not user friendly too much. But it's secure, basically.
And since you've now mentioned what you do, like your job for a living, so I know that like maybe 3 or 4 years ago you started this kind of sessions with basically you're trying to teach corporates and people on open sessions in Paralelni Polis, in Prague, in Delnická 43, Holešovice, which is this kind of nicer Prosek.
Oh, come on.
Nicer Chodov. We are in the nicest part of Chodov in Holešovice. No, I'm just an idiot. I'm joking. I like Holešovice. I used to work on Plinarenska, something like that, and it's a vibrant neighborhood. It's super hipsterish. There is Paralelni Polis here. There is Vnitro block, which is kind of cool hipsterish place, and there's a lot of cafes and stuff like that.
It's more boutique where you can get a coffee. I can say we were first here.
Totally.
In the downtown of Holešovice, not in Letná. There was already some hipsters, but here we were those 7-8 years ago. We were first who were selling the finest coffee. Like with
the coffee is good in the Bitcoin cafes. I think it's right. Yeah, it's good.
And we were actually the very first and only cafe in the world which accepts Bitcoin only. Not just
fiat, first, not good here.
Not just first in Prague, but we were actually first in the world.
Okay, well done.
We like to be first.
So, do you going back to what you do for a living? So, do you still deliver those trainings? How can people find you?
They can find me on my website. To answer, yes, I do.
Okay.
My website digitalnisebeobrana.cz or digitalselfdefense.cz. There's also an English version of the website. And of course, they can find me here at Paralelni Polis. And yes, I do those workshops. So when I'm trying to explain people how the security works, how they can secure their own devices against some threats. So I always said that people who are attending my workshops, then they have their devices secured the same way as hackers have.
Wow.
And besides that, I'm doing some consultancy for the companies, how to make their systems more secure, the processes, and so. Also, I'm doing some consultancy for the secure storing or dealing with cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
Yes, because it's my maybe main focus on how to secure dealing with the cryptocurrencies. I'm not doing any financial advices. I'm not gonna tell you what coin you should buy or where the price will be in the next 5 months or whatever. But I will tell you how to make it secure, so you will not lose your coins.
Cool. Are you involved? I know that one of the events that didn't happen last year because of the lockdown, but I think it's happening in 2021. You have Paralelni Polis has this hacking event. It's called
the Hackers Congress, Paralelni Polis. Yeah. It's our, let's say, flagship event, and actually it did happen last year. Even during the
really?
Yeah.
Because I'm shocked because I thought I looked on the site. It started in 2014 or 15 or something like that, but the 2020 edition is not in the list maybe.
So maybe
I'm
there's
wrong.
some bug on the website.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
But it did happen.
Was it fully online, I guess, or how?
No.
It happened here?
It happened here.
Wow. Yeah.
Actually,
and the 2021 is actually outside on the building. That's what it's advertising. The big. I took a picture of it. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's gonna be when?
Yeah. It's we are doing every year on the first weekend of the October.
Okay.
It's 3 days of talks, lectures, and so on from people all around the world. So 100% in English. And attendees are also from all around the world, and it's not technical conference. It's not a conference about cryptocurrencies only. It's more like a philosophical freedom conference.
Sounds great. Yeah.
About how the world is going with the privacy, with the freedoms and so on.
I'd like to take part if I'll be in Prague first week of October. I'd like to come.
This year is going to be a bit limited because usually we are using
50% of capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's even less than 50% because usually we are using the La Fabrica Theater, which is next door, but due to the circumstances, lockdowns, and people are not sure if they can travel. So we decided to not rent the theater there. So it's gonna be like a very first congress just in our building, and the space is limited. Even it looks like a pretty large building, and it is for a non-profit organization to maintain this building. But for event for such an event, it's not that big. So there will be something around 100 tickets only.
Oh damn!
Okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but maybe we'll get rid of the virus eventually.
We will also have some talks online on YouTube. And
really, that's great. Yeah.
But those most interesting talks usually are not recorded. Because some of our speakers don't want to be publicly
Makes sense.
Publicly visible, so it's good to be here.
You also started a podcast. You told me it's called Whispers.
Whispers, yeah.
Where can people listen to that?
Actually, it's somewhere in YouTube. But as I told you, I quit with the Whispers. I had really interesting guests, but I realized I'm not good host for the interviews. So
neither am I, SODOMAK, but this doesn't stop me.
Yeah, it's good, but you're doing well. Recently I'm doing like video series of it's more like educational videos about security, privacy, and so on. It's Czech only, Czech language, but I still have the idea I will do it in English, but I still wondering when I get time to do it. So definitely it's on my to-do list, on my endless to-do list.
What I appreciate is from time to time you do have this kind of giveaways on your LinkedIn, and I know I remember, and that's how I got the idea, because we know each other for quite some time, but that's how I got the idea to invite you in the podcast. It was like 5 things to do before you leave on holiday or stuff like that, which is a great read. And what I like about you is that you make this information easy to understand for everybody, even if they are not technical. And I think this is the only way to actually raise awareness on this.
Yeah, this was you can find a shitload of papers on the internet how to maintain security, but usually it's not readable for common people.
For common people,
so my focus in my consulting and lectures and workshops is to make it easy for like common users, for non-ITs. It's not those workshops are not for security professionals.
Of course, it's for everybody else, kind of. Yeah.
On my workshops, I had teachers from elementary schools, some people who are working manually, or some, lawyers, medical doctors, and stuff, who are always need to work with the computers, with the phones, even with data of their customers, but they don't understand what they are doing. So I'm trying to make it easy to understand what they should do and actually why to do that. It's also, and I'm not forcing them like to change from Windows to Linux or because it doesn't make sense. I always say that for me, it's better if people are using Windows and they know what they are doing than people who are using Linux and they don't know what they're doing. They're just firing some commands or clicking everywhere because something is broken.
The interface now is way more
easier
of course, than it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm usually trying to explain them how to use services and software and tools, so what they are already using, how to use them more secure, than to force them to change to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because it's the learning curve, right? If you put an old man on a new device. Right, it's gonna be challenging even to find the buttons, you know. Like
and I know if you know from those experts from the internet discussions, like if somebody will write something, hey, I have Windows, there is something, and the advice from such an expert is use Linux. Fuck off. Like, and I know if I would tell people who are attending my workshops, like use Linux, they will maybe tell me, okay, it sounds better, but they will never do. Yeah. So I rather tell them how to use Windows more securely, privately than.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I was curious about Linux all the time, so for me now it's easy, and I would never change back. I would, but then again, maybe I land another corporate job and they will serve me a Windows 10 device. So, you know.
Yeah, it's. I also worked for some companies when I was actually forced to use Windows. But I took it from the other side that. It's good for me for my consulting that I will know what's there and how is the daily use of them, because of course you can install the Windows in some virtual machine or on your older or second notebook and look what's there, but if you are not using, you still know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you know where find the sending of the printers, but you don't know how it's done on a daily basis. Such a things, because it's usually it's totally different space. Yeah.
And yeah, for me, with actually I stopped Windows when they made me switch from 7 to 10. Just because out of curiosity, I was a sales coach for HP at that time. And out of curiosity, just because I wanted to, be able to spread the information correctly, I read the end user license agreement. I just did. I mean, I'm one of the idiots who
Really?
did. Yes. And this is how I actually found out, for example, that the word telemetry function, this is how I found out that you are not allowed theoretically to use any other controllers on the Xbox except the Microsoft controllers. So eventually, if you buy a controller to use for your Xbox, Microsoft will know, and they are able to kill your controller that you bought with your own money by working at McDonald's or something like that as a kid. I don't know, which to me was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so I said, okay, maybe I will have a rough 6 months to learn command line, but then in the end, as is Ubuntu Beaver, which I'm using now, you don't need command line unless you want to do something. I mean, they have the software repository, it's click, next. I mean, it's more or less...
If you're a hacker, you really need command line. If you are a network administrator, you need command line.
That's true.
But as a regular
user,
you don't
need it. and then you can game on it. So that's it. You can text, game, and you know, feel a little bit secure, more secure, I guess. And since we're talking about this,
depends on how are you
well,
even
of course.
even of Ubuntu or basically any Linux, you can be still spied.
You can, but then again, you know, like an attachment with a .exe file comes, you can double click on it. It's not gonna install. You know what I mean? I mean, it's somehow it's stupid proof as well somehow. Because my mom would probably double click on anything. You know, like there's a lot of people that double click on anything, and that's a way in. Yeah, but this brings me to we talked about the stack. I forgot the last question I should have asked then is like, what's your VPN? What's the VPN provider? I mean, what do you use there? Because I'm looking now. I'm thinking to get one, and I'm not really sure.
I'm using NordVPN.
Okay.
Because it's pretty fast. They have shitload of servers all around the world. It's possible to pay with Bitcoin. They even had some sales on Bitcoin, 30% or something like that if you pay with Bitcoin. But it was a few years ago. And it was for, I don't know, 3 years. And it was not, I don't remember prices. I don't even, I don't remember even my prices. But it was not expensive. Really not. And I'm fine with NordVPN.
Okay. So I'll look into that then. NordVPN.
They have clients for everything, like for Linux, for Android, for iOS.
Really, for iOS as well? I was not expecting. Nice. So Nord, right?
NordVPN.
Yeah. Are they the same company that at one point they put this live attack map on the internet and you could see the DDoS attacks? I think it's the same company, but the map, I was looking for it and I cannot find it anymore.
They also stated that they are not collecting the logs from the users. They are saying it. If it's true or not, you cannot. I cannot go to their server and check if it's true or not. What is one thing which is I would say important for me, that they have headquarters in Panama. Okay. So no European Union, no United States, or no China or other shit. So that's.
So what do you think then? Since you mentioned European Union, I'm not a Eurosceptic. I love European Union, you know, but because I'm Romanian, it's clearly why, right? But I do believe that at least a little bit GDPR is theoretically on our side, and I think that, I don't know, eventually you will, I mean, I don't know how we will ever be able to control the big players on the internet unless they will just open the servers for some state authority and just, you know, really look what's in there and what they do with the data. Other than that, I think that GDPR and no data retention, I mean, no, for example, for companies, they are not allowed to use American servers. The data must be in European Union locally stored. And I think it is because we want to make sure that GDPR compliance is in place, right? I mean, it's not a bad, what's your opinion? Is it a bad piece of legislation or not? It's definitely stricter than the US one, right?
Yes. I don't care if there is. I don't like governments at all. So I don't care if it's Czech government or European government or whatever. So if somebody asks me if I'm okay with the European Union or not, I don't care.
Okay, but
for the first time, and GDPR for me, I see it for the most companies. It's like just like excuse for that they have the stamp that they are GDPR compliant.
So it's just another standard.
Yeah, and those who would like to don't comply, if they tell you that they deleted all your data, still like okay, they could delete it from one server, but they can have backup in the server overseas. It's legislation, but you cannot. Basically, they cannot force
Compliance.
the compliance. Yeah.
That's my point. I mean, unless they will open up their servers for some entity, whatever entity.
Even if they open the servers, I can open my computer too, and you will find nothing.
It will be on a stick somewhere in the cleaning lady's room under a pillow.
In Panama.
That's true. In Panama. Yeah, that's.
It's all those regulations, like those fucking cookies consents, which makes internet less usable, and even it learns users to the bad behavior that clicking always okay is good behavior. Because in the beginning, I would bet that 90 whatever percent of people, of users, they still don't know what they are clicking on. Yeah, they see, cookies are bad, and there's written, we are using cookies, and you have to consent with it to use our page. So everybody is clicking okay because they want to see the web page. Yeah. And nobody is reading what cookies are about. Nobody knows that there is that sense that cookies are bad. Cookies are not bad. Cookies are pretty good thing for using internet. Of course, there are some cookies that can track your behavior. But without cookies, you couldn't be logged in the eShop, in the Facebook account. That's like.
But there's a difference now I've seen, and I think it's again for the GDPR regulation. Now, if you look at show me more details, they will say functional cookies, and they will explain that the functional cookies are for the.
Who is reading it?
I am.
You do. Yeah, you read the license agreement. Okay.
Yeah. I should do something else with my time. No, but I'm serious now. So there's the functional cookies, which will give you a better experience while you're browsing that site, right? And it's probably because your pictures, if they're heavy, will load faster, right, or stuff like this.
It's not the function of the cookies. Usually, cookies are simply text files, or small text files stored in your browser's memory, or basically on your hard drive, or memory of your mobile phone. And there is just some information. Some cookies you can read by plain text, but mostly there is just some token.
The token is for authentication. So as you were saying, if you log into okay,
but also for tracking you. Also, you have your virtual ID on the Facebook or Google servers. You don't see they don't see you as a Bogdan. They see you as 145 something. It's this can be stored in the cookie, and this ID went to this site, then went to that site, and all those sites that have those cookies, but basically, as I said, we need cookies to actually use the internet in the way we are using it. It was not. It was okay to use internet without cookies in the 90s, but Not in the late 90s
Okay.
when the first e-shops and first forums and other like communication web servers.
The internet,
it's not possible
IRC,
to.
and everything else.
Yeah, some. With the legislation, I don't care much about the legislation unless it's that fucking annoying, like that cookie legislation. So I don't like when I said I'm doing the consulting for the companies. I never do consulting how to be compliant with the regulations. I'm just telling them how to make their systems secure. No, not compliant with some fucking regulations. I don't want to read the regulations. So I'm not gonna tell somebody how to be compliant with it, because I'm not sure what even's there, because like, I can teach your employees how to not to be threat to your company, but as I said, I'm not gonna make your company compliant with some regulations.
Do you also write code?
Sometimes I do, but not that much. I like when I got my first computer. It was Czechoslovak clone of ZX Spectrum.
Okay.
So it's called Didactic, and so I when I got it, I was 12, something like that. Of course, first I started to play games, but then I started to actually create my own games, and for me it was more fun than to actually play someone else's game. Then I wrote something with the C++, C Sharp, Rust sometimes, and so, but I'm not coder. Sometimes I like. Sometimes I'm writing some scripts. If I do some penetration testing and something or some capture the flag stuff. It's like that gamified hacking.
Yeah. Those are awesome events.
So recently just scripts and sometimes PHP, but usually coders and JavaScript and not like some, because sometimes I have the idea to make something on the web. On my website I have some JavaScript, some tools like to how strong, for example, is your password and stuff. How I have like demonstration how end-to-end encryption and how it works. I have that JavaScript tool there where you can see where your data are encrypted and where are in plaintext. So like I would say it's web toys. I'm not doing any like serious programming.
I found, and this also leads to like 3 questions, and we can go, I guess, if you don't wanna, if you're not thinking about anything else. On lynda.com is one of my my favorite platforms to learn these things, and I know that I've of course downloaded from Pirate Bay the lynda.com thing on white hat hacking, on penetration testing. I didn't start it yet, because I want to dual boot my Ubuntu with Kali, because I understood that Kali is like the best flavor if you want to do white hat hacking and penetration testing. Of this.
I'm not sure if the best. I'm using it, but there are another distros like Parrot. Parrot OS. You can or Black Arch. Which is, like Arch Linux with. So, the Kali or those distros are just regular Linux distros with some tools for hacking.
Okay, like Wireshark and
Okay. There is shitload of. If you are used to Ubuntu, download Kali because it's Debian based, same as Ubuntu, so you will be familiar with it. I'm using Arch Linux for my daily use, but I'm still using Kali Linux. I because a few years ago.
Mint is Arch, right?
Mint? No, I guess Mint is Ubuntu too, or Debian based. I'm not sure.
Might be Debian. I used for a little while some Arch, but maybe something with M. I don't remember, but it was like, I don't know why I switched to Ubuntu then after it. Something was
Manjaro.
Manjaro. I was using Manjaro. It was nice, kind of. Yeah.
My very first Linux distribution was Red Hat when it was open source those times in the 90s, I guess. Then I used Debian and Ubuntu but then I switched to Arch Linux. I'm pretty when I started to do hacking, I downloaded Kali. And I'm still there. Like it's easy to use, like for me. So I don't need to use. And for me, it's also a way how to still be in touch with the Debian world. That I'm not still just in the Arch Linux. It's quite different. Universes, I would say.
I have like 2 or 3 older devices at home that I'm gonna. This is how I thought I was gonna make a small network with them, be on the Wi-Fi, on my Wi-Fi, and just play with them. See.
Kali is fine for.
And it's I love it because it's like it's trial and error. It's so nice. IT in general, you leave a level of frustration. Why can I not do this? And then you find it somehow on Stack Overflow. And somewhere you find it. Somewhere you find it and it works. And then there's like this orgasmic, yeah! Yeah, that's what I love about it.
But with Kali, don't try to hack blindly on the internet. That's good stuff to...
No, the worst I was thinking to do is I have a... Maybe I should not say this. There is a coffee place in my building that has unprotected Wi-Fi, so I was thinking, like that. But other than that, no. I would love to go to Starbucks, and or Mac, and just have a Big Mac and and look at what people are. This reminds me.
Fortunately, for the most of the communication nowadays is encrypted. So hopefully you will not succeed. I'm sorry to say that, but no, I'm on that side of protecting people. But I think capture the flag competitions are pretty good. There are servers where you can actually learn how to hack. Hack the Box. It's a great server.
Really, they're like online.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So Hack the Box?
Yeah, Hack the Box.
Cool.
It's pretty good stuff. You have to know something already. Yeah. But there are also some.
I can scan for ports.
Yeah, legally. There are some virtual machines you can download from the internet. You download. How is it? Pretty vulnerable something. I'm not sure, but if you search DuckDuckGo for hacking virtual machine, you will find something, and you will find some tutorials for it how to actually do that. So first machine you will do with the tutorial like step by steps, and the next you will We will try how to scan ports, how to do, I don't know, SQL injection, and, how to break passwords and stuff like that. All within your computer, only bit in a virtual box or some another.
I found at one point a really good password cracker. I don't know why I didn't look deep into it, but it was like, well, really good. It was kind of, the way I saw it is if you kind of hint the password, right? You could like really cut the time because you would like hint some passwords and then it will try to redo them forever, but not the same one, but change a little bit and stuff like that. So for example, if somebody is next to you and you see like half of their password as they're typing it, that could be a really good tool because you have half of the password. You know? Or like another thing that I sometimes did, and it was funny for me, is like people leaving their locked phones in bars. So I would just, you know, like do because it's easy, you know, like you see it 2 times and then take a selfie and put the phone back. So, because I imagine those people, you know, would go to the pictures and then, I never took this picture.
Don't do that. Like I see this many times. But for me, like I never touch
anybody else's device.
Exactly.
We are talking about people I hang out with beer. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not freaky like that. Yeah. That's a good advice, though. Yeah.
It was, you could just mention more to audience, never touch other people's devices.
Do not touch other people's devices unless it's consensual.
Like, when I sometimes tell to somebody that I'm doing some hacking, and they are always getting their phones to their pockets, and so don't worry. Unless you paid me to do that, I'm pretty lazy person, so I'm not gonna hack without salary. So.
Anything you want to add before we finish? I have one last question, which is the question I always end with. But before that, if you wanna do the shout outs again. So we were, this was SODOMAK.
Yeah.
Right? This is how I'm gonna, right? I'm gonna promote you as SODOMAK.
It's my nickname from my 14 or something like that.
So cool. This has been SODOMAK. We've been in Paralelni Polis, which is the Institute of Cryptoanarchy for Prague on Delnická 43 in Holešovice. These people run amazing events. They have the Bitcoin Cafe.
You can come to work. We have a co-working space here.
Oh, the co-working space. And by the way, you're hiring. The people are... Paralelni Polis is hiring junior developers.
It's not us. It's Brains, which is a company which is doing mining of cryptocurrencies.
Okay. But they're still here?
No, but they are like friends.
Okay. So shout out to junior developers that want to work in crypto. It's Brains?
Brains. With two eyes.
Yeah, with 2 eyes. Or just come to the Bitcoin Cafe, grab a coffee, take a leaflet. The leaflets are there. You'll get more details. Do subscribe to this fucking channel. Thank you. Anything, yeah. So Paralelni Polis, it's paralelnipolis.cz, I think.
If you visit my website, like digitalselfdefense.cz or digitalnisebeobrana.cz, be glad if you will sign up to some of my workshops, or if you need some advices to yourself or to your company, or if you want to know how to secure dealing with cryptocurrencies, or you want to buy cryptocurrencies but you don't know how to do it like in a secure way, just write me. Come to get a coffee to Paralelni Polis, and I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Paralelni Polis, because we have some pretty good lectures there, both in English or Czech, science, technology, art.
Yeah. Anyway, everything as usual, everything will be in the description of the episode. So all the links to your accounts that you want to make public and to the place that has hosted us and so on. So last question. If you would be able to snap your fingers and change something about the world today, what would you change? And here, just I've had all kinds of questions. Eric Everhard, the porn star, told me everybody should have a perfect ass. And and the last guy I interviewed, it's a Romanian interview with the vocals from a local hardcore band in Timișoara, Octavian Vita Horvath, which we will subtitle in English. He said, no religion. So you have like a huge...
Bine.
Bine.
I know from Romanian language. I know all the swears and some other some other words, but pula mea.
Yeah.
And, okay, one thing: no governments.
No governments. Anarchos to the core, like forever. I agree with no governments.
Or maybe if I can say no forced authorities.
That's even better. That's even better.
Yeah, because it covers religions, governments.
And the new internet. It covers Facebook as well. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
He helped us shoot this. He was an awesome guest. This is the end for today. Follow us for more. Thank you, Prague.
Bye.
So, this has been 19 to the dozen. Follow us for more. There will be episode 19. Really nice talk about football. Episode 20. Wow. I mean, just go on Instagram and I still have the stories there about the record-breaking burger. We're going to talk to Zed. We're going to talk to Craig. We're going to maybe catch Eric as well. Lots of nice things going on.